Hello, I'm Archibald Chesterfield III, and today I'm doing an email for Mr. London. And he's very kindly sent me $100. Just fucking, sometimes you get really depressed. The shit hits the fan. It's all bad news. And then someone does something really nice. And he's not the only one who's done some nice shit for me. Let me tell you this. Mark Gannon, he gave me extra $30. Thomas G X100, flicked me a bit more, $40. Phil Acut, $50 because of my tooth problem and car problem. Lars, extra donation. Gerald Holmes, Brian Thompson. These are all good fuckers, and this is just the latest disaster I've had there. And there's some really cool fuckers out there, and things are getting better. They gotta get better. You hit rock bottom, Arch. Now this is for Mr. London. He says, what is Richard Mille all about? And are his watches proper horology, or is it just a crazy gimmick for rich fuckers with too much money? We need to know, Archie. Yes, Richard Mille. Richard Mille is the brand of very, very expensive wristwatches. Hideous. They make Pateks look like Casios. Well, look like Seikos. Ha! Richard Mille is a completely revolutionary brand which has come onto the scene, and fine watchmaking, a very interesting twist to horology. And what are they like? It's far too expensive for my blood. Far too expensive. I've had to cut back in recent times. I've had to cut back the Haute horology. And you gotta know what you can afford. I was stretching the envelope with my Pateks, my Audemars, and I've brought it in a bit. I've come down a bit to Rolex, and I've still got the ArchieLuxury and the Breguet. But Richard Mille, yes, it's a brand for very, very, very rich fuckers. And it's really, really expensive. And I'm just going to have a quick sticky on the computer here. Let's have a look. What is a Richard Mille what's it going to set you back? These are not cheap fuckers, okay? They're very, very, very expensive. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? I don't know. What is anything worth? It's one of these things. What is any of this shit worth? But let's have a look. We'll just go on to Chrono. I always recommend, if you want to get a pricing guide, chrono24.com. Fantastic pricing guide. And we'll just let's have a look. What is the cheapest Richard Mille? Fucking hell, look at this, 195,000 US fucking dollars price. Let's look at what is the cheapest Richard Mille. 36,500. That's for an RM001 white gold pre-owned. I mean, this is a lot of money. That's a lot of 50,000 for a titanium RM010. Is it worth it? Is it really worth it? Well, it's all. They are superb watches. They are superb. Is it worth it? In my opinion, I'm in no rush to buy one, okay? One, I can't afford it, really. 36,000 starting from second hand, we're talking. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And is it worth it? Well, if you can afford it. They are sensational. There's no question about it. That they are an amazing piece. Would I buy one myself? Well, I think myself, if you got around $100,000 to spend. See, I'd rather, for 100 grand, I'd personally get something like a 3970 perpetual calendar chronograph. It's a cool thing. Maybe a minute repeater. That's a cool thing. I had that Jaeger LeCoultre Reverso in rose gold, that minute repeater on. You can pick those up under 50,000. What do I think? Is it worth the money? Look, it's look, I've always aspired to Pateks. I've always thought Pateks were sensational. And I've been fortunate, I've owned a few. I've owned a few Pateks. And everything you own has got shortcomings to it. With the Pateks, they are a bit delicate. They're a bit delicate. They're not something you can sort of wear every day. They're a very special type of piece. And in my opinion, if money came back to me, if Lady Luck had returned to me, I would seriously be getting a Patek. I'd probably get a Lange. Okay, that's as extreme as I would go. But with a Richard Mille, they just don't appeal to me. Okay, I mean they're a cool brand. Everyone who's a watch person, Richard Mille, wowzers, they're a very cool brand. But
we specialize in the repair of Rolex and Patek Philippe watches. We've been doing the same thing for more than 25 years. We have Rolex technicians certified by Rolex who actually used to work for the company for many years, like if we're doing the work on the factory. We completely disassemble the watch and we put it to work like brand new condition. When you get a pre-owned watch, it's like if you're getting a brand new unit. The only difference is the money.
So, Richard Mille, what do I think? Well, it's fantastic that there's watchmakers like Richard Mille there. I'd just be a bit scared that the brand could turn out a bit like Frank Muller. They were so hot at one stage. Frank Muller was so cool. It was so cool. Then they've gone a bit flat. They're still a cool brand, but you know what I mean. Richard Mille, I'd be getting I'm a conservative fucker. I would be getting a Patek Complication. If I've got $100,000, that would probably be my dream piece. Even a Lange, I think. Well, I personally want the Patek. That's what I'd be buying. A Patek perpetual calendar, something amazing like that. I think that's what I'd prefer. But that's not to say there's anything wrong with a Richard Mille. It's in my opinion, I like them to have been around for a bit longer. It's just a brand which I just think myself there is that it is a cool brand, right? Don't get me wrong there, right? It is a fantastic brand. It's got many amazing things to it there, but it's one of these things that it's so expensive. And I'm just doing a search here now. Richard Mille is a brand of luxury watch founded in 1999 by French businessman Richard Mille. So 1999, I mean that's not that long. You know what I mean? It's just, I like my watch companies to have a history. Even if it's a bullshit recreated one. You know, I like a bit of history there. So, look, I kind of, I just think, I just think myself, if you got that much money, put it into classic, classic iconic pieces. That's my view. But that's nothing to say it's not a magnificent watch. But for me, if you've got that sort of money, I reckon the Patek way is probably the best. Even if you go for an Audemars Piguet offshore, I think I'd feel more comfortable with that than a Richard Mille. I'm ArchieLuxury, talking about Richard Mille watches. Tell me what you fuckers think of that. Nice one, Archie. Nice X2. Stay within your means, big boy.